What's going on? Hey, first and foremost, I need prayers. Yesterday was Easter, and I need Jesus to resurrect my career. My radio career, that is. So, if you could pray for me to get a job back in radio, it's much obliged, but it's also much needed. So please pray for me, for my family, that I may get a job again. It's been a while, years, and it would mean the world to me if I could get your prayers. You could lift me up, some prayers that that Jesus resurrects my radio career, that I could get a job in radio again. It would just help my family so much. It's my passion. I love it. That's why I do this. That's why I do my own show. And I thank you. Today is April 1st, if I'm not mistaken. And again, I'm no lawyer. This is not legal advice, but I believe on April 1st, you're allowed to do one thing, anything you want, no matter legalities. Again, not legal advice. Check in your own state. Check with your Surgeon General, Attorney General. Check with your state laws, but I'm pretty sure on April 1st, you're allowed one, what do they call it? One purge? One something. I don't know. I might be wrong, though. I might be wrong. Who knows? But maybe. The other thing about Easter I don't understand is, like, around Easter time. Oh, and I'm going to talk about Jerry Seinfeld's Unfrosted. If you saw the thumbnail, even Jerry Seinfeld looks unenthused. Jerry Seinfeld on his trailer poster, the movie poster. Even Jerry's like, I got paid a lot. Even Jerry's face, if you see my thumbnail, if you've seen Jerry Seinfeld's face on his own movie poster, he's like, Pop-Tart movie. Like, even Jerry Seinfeld himself is like, it was a payday. It was fun. You might not like it. So I'm going to talk about that in a second, but it baffles me. I've been trying to figure out this all day. I should have Googled it, but I hope somebody knows. You can leave it in the comments. Oh, and by the way, hit subscribe. I go live every weekday, 5 days a week. Welcome to the struggle. I am Rob. And hit the notification bell, because I can give you my word that I'll go live 5 days a week. I can't tell you when. I like to keep you on your toes, so hit the notification bell. But around this time of year, like, the grocery stores dedicate a whole section to ham. Why do people eat ham on Thanksgiving? It makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. I'm pretty sure somewhere in the Bible God says, like, don't eat stuff with hoofs. I think it's Old Testament. But I'm not even referring to that. I'm just saying it doesn't make any sense. Like, how are we eating ham? Just like on St. Patrick's Day. Like, they don't eat corned beef. It's a weird thing. And especially when instead of eating pig, no ham, but how about lamb? The Lamb of God. I don't understand how in America grocery stores, maybe it was like the diamond ring, and how whatever it was, Mr. K Jewelers, Johnny K Jewelers decided, people need to buy a diamond ring. That's how you get married. Because if you look up that story, it's fascinating. It's all a sham. It's just capitalism thrown in your face. Like, buy a diamond ring for your woman, then she'll marry you. Wonder how all the people who have gotten rejected feel about that. But how in the history of America do we start eating ham for Thanksgiving? It's the dumbest. Don't get me wrong, I like a good honey glazed ham, but it's the dumbest thing ever, especially when you consider Jesus was the Lamb of God. If we ate lamb on Thanksgiving, it would be an homage, right? Some lamb, some bread, some wine. I just don't. If you know why we started eating ham what did I say Thanksgiving? Easter. Sorry. Why we started eating ham for Easter, please let me know in the comments. Please. I'll Google it, but it's been bugging me all day. Especially when, like, it's right there, folks. Jesus was the Lamb of God. Eat lamb. Everybody having gyros or heroes, whatever your preference. I call them gyros. I mean, that's a good Easter meal. Gyros keep you light on your toes. None of this ham weighing me down. All right, so listen, Jerry Seinfeld, even he looks unenthused on his movie poster, which is pretty remarkable when you think about it. Movie posters are like the thumbnail, or like YouTube thumbnails of the movie world. And I hate to say this because you should never judge a book by its cover, but here on YouTube, every video is judge a book by its cover. Every video, it's just judged on its thumbnail. And if you saw my thumbnail with I almost call him Springer, Jerry Seinfeld on it, that dude, I've never seen a dude so mediocre looking about his own movie. And I figured out why. I know my last video, I had just seen the trailer, right? So I was just kind of reacting to my initial gut reaction on the trailer Unfrosted. And I did not like it, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And then someone in the comments of that video said, the word you're looking for is boring. And I said, maybe I overlooked that one. You are right. So I didn't get their name. I'm very sorry. But if you're watching this video, thank you for giving me that word, boring. I definitely overlooked it. And that's what the movie is. But more importantly, once he said that, it was like a domino effect in my head. I said, well, what happens in every movie that I love? And it was really YouTube that turned me on to this understanding of movies. But it's the character arc. And I went back through the Rolodex of my mind and thought about like some of my favorite movies. Whether it be comedies like Don't Look Up. Watch that. It's on Netflix. Very good comedy. Or Tommy Boy, one of my favorite comedies of all time. In both of those comedies, and is Good Will Hunting a comedy? I consider it a comedy, but maybe it's a dramedy. Maybe it's a drama comedy. But in all three of those flicks, there are amazing character arcs. Now, a character arc, I looked this up just to make sure I had brought you guys the right definition. A character arc is the transformation or inner journey of a character over the course of a story. They start by being one type of person, and then they gradually transform and their character develops. Now, if you just look at any of your favorite movies, unless your favorite movie is Frosted by I keep wanting to call him Springer, Jerry Seinfeld. Because I'm guessing nobody has a character arc in that, and we'll get to it. Not only is it bad, boring writing, a boring concept, but even in the trailer, they're like, Jerry Springer, the best capitalist ever. He just wants to invent the Pop-Tart. There's no room for a character arc. You look at Don't Look Up, Leo DiCaprio, right? He starts off, he wants to save the world, then he kind of gets into effort mode, and he hooks up with Kate Blanchett, and then he realizes it's not all it's cracked up to be, and he goes home for the end of the movie. I don't want to spoil that if you haven't seen it, but big character arc for Leo DiCaprio in it. Tommy Boy, amazing character arc, right? Tommy gets home from college. He spends 7 years there. A lot of people go to college for 7 years. Yeah, they're called doctors. And he gets home, and he's just kind of that goofy kid working for his dad. And then next thing you know, his dad passes, and he has to take on the mantle of leading this company to save thousands of jobs, and he doesn't think he can do it because he's just that goofy guy. He can't commit to the sale and close that sale. Always be closing, Tommy. He can't. If I wanted to kiss, I would have asked your mother. I love Tommy Boy and Chris Farley. Rest in peace, Chrissy. Old Farley boy. And then he comes through, and David Spade, even a minor character or a secondary character, has a great character arc. And David Spade shows that he has a soul and a heart. In real life, he does. But I'm just saying, in that movie. I know I called him David Spade, whatever his name is. Richard. That's it. You can never forget. If you haven't seen Tommy Boy, my goodness, go do it. And even in Tommy Boy, you know, Tommy by the end realizes that he does have the confidence. He can do it. And even though he misses his dad, he does mature. And Richard shows. Richard! Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers gotta hug. Oh, I love that movie. And even Richard shows that he's got a heart, even though he's got that hard exterior candy shell and a interior chocolate. What is that? And when they're driving in the car, he drops all the M&Ms in Richard's classic car, and he's like, "Don't worry, they got a thick candy shell." I think your brain has a thick candy shell. You do. What was that? I love that movie. So Tommy Boy, Good Will Hunting, right? Will Hunting. Is that a comedy? I believe it's a comedy. Fight me in the comments over it. Even Good Will Hunting, amazing character arc. You know, Will Hunting, he's just and even Robin Williams has a character arc. And I think Ben Affleck doesn't have a character arc in Good Will Hunting. But Robin Williams and Matt Damon, they both have character arcs. I'm not going to go into every movie character arc. Another one of my favorite movies, Dark Knight. They all have character arcs. Does Joker have a character arc? He doesn't come around, does he? No, but he's just a great character. But even in that, Christian Bale has a character arc, right? And it's the Joker, it's Heath Ledger who pulls that character out of him, where he's like, you and I are the same. We're two sides to one coin, or whatever he says. The character arc is why I love movies, why probably most of us love movies. And maybe that's just an obvious statement. But if it was so obvious, why Jerry Seinfeld, the hero of comedy TV? I don't agree with that. Seinfeld, thumbs down, buddy. I don't like your comedies or your TV shows. Say ha, I got a number. How do you like them apples? Comedy, right? Good Will Hunting is a comedy. What else would you classify it as? I don't believe it could be anything else besides a comedy. I swallowed a bug. So this is a Harvard bar. I think there'd be equations on the wall. Had to go see about a girl. I got a number. How do you like them apples? Bah! And he slams the thing on. Sorry, I could quote those movies for days, kid. Like they say here in Boston. For days. And I won't. We'll do another live stream where I just quote movies. I'll have someone on and we'll quote them back and forth. But if that seems like an obvious statement, and again, I was naive to the character arc. I just always appreciated good writing in movies, like when there was a joke that just came out of nowhere, right? So like the How Do You Like Them Apples? When that hit in 1999, do you know that changed the culture? Everybody was saying, how do you like them apples? And that's the brilliant writing that, like, I not only appreciated, but, like, I was like, I want to do that? Can I do that? How do you do that? You got to be very smart. And you got to have a team. You can't just sit there by yourself. Well, I'm sure some people can sit there by themselves. Comics do it all the time. But for me, it helps better when I work with people. I got a number. Say ha, thank you. I love you. Say ha, coming to save the day. Proving my point that Good Will Hunting is a comedy. But if that seems obvious, right, that character arcs kind of make or break a movie. I didn't really know that. I really appreciated the writing in a movie. I wasn't too sure I would witness a character arc, but it wasn't until like I watched Maggie Mae Fish on YouTube, and there's a couple other YouTubers who really break down movies in such an amazing way. They make it simple for you to understand, but they also have the complexities of why the movie is so great. And in watching this over the past years, I've come to understand more of a depth of why I love certain movies and the specific character arcs that speak to me. So maybe it's just not that obvious. Maybe you're watching right now and you're like, Rob, you're a moron. Everybody knows about character arcs. You dummy. What are you, 42? Oh, today was the day I learned character arcs at 42 years old. Welcome to planet Earth, you maroon. I'm sorry. I was naive. Okay, I worked in radio. I knew there were character arcs in radio. I didn't know that's what you call them. Okay, I'm just not the most brilliant. I didn't go to movie school. I went to radio college. By the way, if you could pray for me to get a job in radio, if you missed the beginning of this, or if you're watching it later, I'm just going to remind you, if you could say a prayer for me, my family, that Jesus resurrects my radio career. It would mean the world to me. I'm hoping maybe prospects out there. Please put your energy, your prayers into me getting a job in radio. It would mean the world to me. Either way, if character arcs is so obvious, Jerry Seinfeld, the first billionaire in comedy, that's what they're saying. His TV show residuals are going to make him the first comic billionaire. And you would think a comic billionaire would know about character arcs. And I challenge you, go watch the trailer for Unfrosted again. I just did again, and it was painful. And then I realized that the first 2 or 3 times I watched it last week when I did this live stream, I didn't pause it at the end to see how many names. The names take up of who's in the movie take up the whole thing. Like usually it's like starring like one or two main A-list celebrities, and then some B's and maybe even some C's. Some like, oh, I know him from somewhere. Everyone is A-list comic celebrity in his movie. And it's ironic that during the trailer they say, oh, they're stacking the deck. They got a bunch of ringers in there when they're talking about Post making Pop-Tarts. And I thought, how funny is that? That they're like talking about, it's so meta, I think. This is like, they're literally saying like, you know, they brought in a bunch of ringers, they're stacking the deck to just make their team look good when they don't really have it. When they're trying to make the Pop-Tarts, they brought in Chef Boyardee and James Marsden, who's an asshole. If you don't know about him, he wrote a letter in defense of that Quiet on the Set Brian Peck criminal against Drake Bell. Shout out Jake Bell. Salute to you coming out with your story. Much. If you haven't seen Quiet on Set, watch that. The Nickelodeon doc, that's what I'm talking about. Sorry if you don't, it's hard to follow along. I'm scatterbrained. But it's a star-studded cast, and it was just ironic. Go watch the trailer again. And when they say, oh, they're stacking the deck, they got ringers, like, that couldn't be a more appropriate line. There's no funny lines in that trailer, but they really hit the nail on the head with getting meta, saying, like, this movie's a bunch of ringers because the comedy isn't there, the character arcs aren't there, the writing isn't there. And you figure Jerry Seinfeld, right? And he wrote it. That's the other thing I didn't notice. I assumed he wrote it, just like B-movie. And you could tell because it's very tame for a comedy. Jerry prides himself on clean comedy, which there's nothing wrong with that, okay? And listen, Bill Cosby's a messed up individual. He did clean comedy, and he had some brilliant bits. Again, not talking about his personal life or his criminal record. He's a scumbag, but I'm just referencing the other clean comics. I can't think of a Carrot Top. Who's another one? Sinbad. Sinbad was amazing. And I'm pretty sure he was clean. I can't think of too many contemporary clean comics. But Jerry Seinfeld, if you watch the trailer again, pause it, hit that pause button, and look at the star-studded cast. Christian Slater, the dude from Game of Thrones, Tywin Lannister. He does a lot of stuff, and he's a great actor, but he's in it, which I didn't realize. I mean, there are so many celebs in it, and it's amazing for having that many celebrities in the trailer sucking that hard. The worst. Might be the worst trailer I've ever seen in my life. And I watched Time Cop with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I love Demolition Man, but those trailers were good. I even like Steven Seagal movies. I even like those trailers, and this one's worse. What does that say? Because now we know who Steven Seagal is, and I'm embarrassed that I was his fan. I was, though. I was young. And he did all these cool, quick, short moves. But Jerry Seinfeld has to know about character arcs. He had a team of writers because there are 3 or 4 people below him. Obviously, he gets the title name right at the top. But you would figure Jerry Seinfeld's character would at least have some kind of character arc, and it has zilch. I haven't seen the movie, and I'm telling you it's got no character arc. Go watch the trailer again, I dare you, and then come back here and tell me in the comments, no, Jerry has a character arc in Unfrosted. He goes from, needing to sell the most cereal to understanding they created a Pop-Tart to needing to sell Pop-Tarts. How fucking tone deaf is this movie? Especially in the wake of what's gone on with Kellogg's cereal. If you don't know, Kirk, whatever his name, just imagine the whitest name you could ever hear. It's like Kirk Tanner. Pretty sure actually that's it. Kirk Tanner. He sounds like he was a guest on Full House. That's what someone said in the comments, which I love. I'm stealing that joke. Sorry if you're in the live stream, but I'm taking it. I'm like Carlos Mencia right now, Dane Cook. I'm stealing that, but I'm just gonna be upfront and tell you I stole the joke. Anyways, what was I talking about? Sugar. I forgot what I was talking about. I'm getting so heated. What joke did I just steal? Uh-oh. Ambulance. Oh, man, I spaced out. Too much going on. Whoops. What joke did I just say I was going to steal? Oh, my God. Anybody help me in the... My brain is fried, man. My brain is fried. Oh, I steal the joke. Yeah, no, I know I was stealing the joke. What was? Oh man, I totally got spaced out. My apologies. Big storm system heading for it. Yeah, you know what? Say hot. We'll take a quick side note. Crazy thing is it's 47 degrees right now. It was like 53 degrees yesterday, and now it looks like Thursday. They say it's gonna snow in April. This is April in New England. It's gonna snow on Thursday. Ta-da! I don't know what else to say. Kirk Tanner, that's right, Kellogg's. Thank you. Everybody go subscribe to Say Ha and Aerial Vectors. Go subscribe to Aerial Vectors. No. Or Jerry Seinfeld's gonna write another comedy. God knows our earth can't handle that. Our society's gonna collapse. Thank you, Kirk Tanner. The whitest name you've ever heard in the history. That's what the joke I stole. Sounds like a guess on Full House. Yeah, Kirk Tanner said, if you can't afford groceries and can't afford to buy food for dinner, eat my cereal, eat Kellogg's cereal. Which again, the correlation with Jerry Seinfeld putting Kellogg's, basically making a movie that's a commercial for Kellogg's and post cereal, is very tone deaf as it is. Maybe Jerry didn't realize that he said that. Maybe he couldn't wait a little longer to release this movie. But if you don't know, Kellogg's raised the prices of their cereal last year by 17%. Not covering the cost of things, transportation, oil, whatever people want to argue about. They just raised it. Record profits, they just raised it. Why? Because what are you going to do? That's the sad thing with all grocery stores right now. What are you going to do? Not buy food? Like, what are you going to do? We're announcing record profits back here, and we're just raising the prices. And what are you going to do? Doritos, $6 a bag. $6. Oh my God. Oh. So anyways, Kirk Tanner's talking like that. Meanwhile, Jerry Seinfeld's giving him a free movie and tying his Seinfeld name to the movie about Kellogg's and Post cereal. My goodness. This is like the king of comedy. Jerry, I know you're watching this, and this is not any ill will towards you. It's just criticism, okay? For all the Seinfeld lovers. And I get it. There's a huge alliance of Seinfeldians, or whatever they're called. Costanza heads. Kramens. Whatever they're called. I don't give a rip. I'm just saying this is like a heartfelt, no ill will critique of like what you're putting out there. And the fact that all your comedy friends, Bill Burr's promoting it. Like, Bill, did you not watch the trailer? You're not stunning in that. And I love your work. I love your work. I was so proud that you made the first masshole accent in the Star Wars galaxy. I called a friend of mine, my buddy Eddie, who loves Star Wars. And I said, look at that. Look at that. I'm going to tear up. It's the first masshole accent in Star Wars. Bill Burr. So proud of him. So I'll support them. It's like saying, you know, I'll give respect when respect's due. Not on this one, playing Jackie Kennedy era. So bad. Horrific. It makes me angry. That's the thing. It's like, that's lazy. And at least it's not going to be in the theaters. I think Jerry Seinfeld knew. Again, if you look at the thumbnail on this live, and I put that thumbnail there for a reason. I wanted you to see the movie poster for Frosted, and I wanted you to see Jerry Seinfeld's face. He could have made any face in the world. He's Jerry Seinfeld. They're not going to tell Jerry Seinfeld how to pose on his movie poster. And you know what he did? He went, he makes this, I can't even do the face. That's the face Jerry Seinfeld's making. Yeah, it makes me want to watch your comedy, bud. Get out of here. I'm not saying I could do it better either, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't write a movie about Kellogg's Pop-Tarts. That's for damn sure. That is 100%. I would not write a movie about Pop-Tarts. And the race, like it's like that. I could see Jerry Seinfeld in his meeting. He's like, I got the idea. It's like the space race in the 50s. And you're thinking it's space, right? Space race? No, Pop-Tarts. Because in the beginning of the trailer, that's what they do. They're like 3, 2, 1, launch from a toaster, and it's a Pop-Tart that launches. And you're like, oh Jesus, we get it. It's the space race, but Pop-Tarts, Jerry. Please have some of your comic friends that star in it, help you write this, rewrite it, go back to the drawing room board. But what are you gonna do? Here's the thing, okay? If Jerry Seinfeld, remember that name? Jerry Seinfeld, one of the most recognizable names in comedy today. I don't know. I mean, Dave Chappelle, Jerry Seinfeld. Can't think of another one that like can just be like Chappelle, Seinfeld. They both go by the last names. Name another comic that goes by its last name. Oh wait, Kyle Kinane. I love him, but no. But name. I'll read your comment 1 second. Say but name another comic that goes like by a Madonna name. You can't. Okay, Chappelle, Seinfeld. If Jerry Seinfeld comes to you and says, "Man, I got an idea for a movie," he comes to you, guess what? You just say yes. Nobody, I guarantee you, that guy's surrounded by a billion yes men. Worst idea ever. If anybody gets Jim Jeffries, funny, but he doesn't. If you just said comic Jeffries, nobody would get it. Nobody get it. You say Chappelle or Seinfeld, people understand. So different. I get it. He's big, but nobody goes by a one name like Madonna in the comedy world besides Chappelle and Seinfeld. Nobody. And put in the comments if there's another comic that goes by a Madonna name, let me know. And my proof is that he's like Madonna is that if he comes through studio and says, "I'm going to do a movie," they just say yes. They didn't ask. They were like, "That's great. Pop-Tarts, whatever. Just do your movie, buddy." Because what is he going to say? He's going to say, "You know how many people are going to say yes to me when I call them to be in this movie? I'm going to have everyone. I'm going to have Bill Burr play Jack Kennedy." Okay? And they're like, "Oh, we love it. So funny." He just forgot to tell them there's no character arcs and the writing's horrible. Jesus, the worst. All right, say hi. New movies nowadays are 99% trash. Last good one I saw was the Roadhouse remake. New Ghostbusters suck. Wait a minute. The Ghostbusters with the Stranger Things kids? I think it was Stranger Things kids, pretty sure. That one, what do they call it? Ghostbusters Afterlife. I like that. It wasn't like the greatest movie ever, but I liked it, and I think I liked it because of the end when Bill Murray, and not to spoil anything, they all came back and they did that like homage to Spangler. Like that had me tearing up because that was really, really cool. It got character arc. Who had the character arc in that? A few people. Even the Ghostbuster, even Dan Aykroyd, right? He was kind of like checked out, didn't want to do. I forget. I gotta watch it again. I'm excited for Frozen Empire. I gotta say that. They're not the best movies, but I think they were decent. Unless you're talking about Frozen Empire. I don't even know if that's out, but if that sucked, I'm disappointed. Jesus, I gotta go in a minute. What time? Oh, I gotta go in a minute. But I just want to let you know, I figured out what it is. There's no character arc. And again, go watch the trailer, come back, leave it in the comments if you think there is, and explain to me, what's the character arc? Seinfeld wants to be the best cereal slinger, then the competition creates Pop-Tarts, and he has to figure out how to make them so he can be the best best Pop-Tart slinger. Like it just looks flat. Like I called it on the other live stream, a soulless comedy. But now I had some time to like sit and reminisce and think about it, and people were dropping stuff in the comments, and I went, that's it. And it sucks because there's so much potential. There's so many crazy things happening in the culture right now, in society right now, that it's weird he picked a 1950s Pop-Tart movie, like cereal movie. Even in the beginning when they're like, in the 50s, it was milk and cereal that dominated children's breakfast. And I'm like, that still does. What are you talking about? What, we have waffles now? Pancakes? I'm pretty sure they were back then too. It's just a dumb premise. The worst. Absolutely worst. All right, I gotta wrap this up. Again, if you know why we eat ham instead of lamb on Thanksgiving, I mean, keep calling it Thanksgiving, on Easter. Sorry. I just figured, ham. Where does ham come from on Easter? The Lamb of God. Jesus was the Lamb of God. Why don't we eat lamb? And then break bread and drink wine? I don't drink wine, but, you know. It would be more symbolic. There's got to be some weird, like John Honeybaked was like, we got to get people to eat more ham for Easter. They were like, Johnny Honeybaked, you're right. How do we do it? Well, let's pick a holiday and tell them if you're not eating ham on Easter, you don't believe Jesus rose. Maybe that was it. I don't know. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Please, if you could please pray for me to get one of these jobs in radio, to just get a job in radio. It would mean the world to me. See you later, say hi. So please, if you could pray for me, it'd mean the world to me. And if you could hit the subscribe button, tons of new people joining the family. I'm so grateful for you. If you've hit subscribe, I'm so thankful. It means the world to me, especially in this tragic time, this very traumatic time my family's going through. So when I see those new subscribers, people joining the family, it means so much. I'm very grateful. Thank you. Thank you for hitting subscribe. And if you haven't, it's free for you. It means the world to me. Hit the notification bell so you learn, or so you get notified when I go live. I go live every weekday, sometimes twice a day and sometimes on the weekends, but I can just give you my word on every weekday right now. And I ask you to hit the notification bell because I can't give you my word on what time. Could be morning, noon, and night. Whenever. Afternoon, early evening, late night. Doesn't matter. I'll go at some point. And then I'm trying to do a reaction video to the Bad Boys Ride or Die trailer. If you haven't seen that, oh, that's a doozy. Oh, that's a doozy. I would do a reaction to the Unfrosted, but there's nothing to react to. I'd just be like, this is the worst. Boo. You suck. That would be the whole reaction. Bad Boys Ride or Die, there's some stuff to react to. So keep an eye out for that. I just got to see how I can do it without getting, it taken down. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you guys so much. Salute. Peace. Much love.